The Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yes, sir.
All right, are they the same as the Bureau of Motor Vehicle, the BMV?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why do they operate under two different names?
Well, the BMV is an acronym for the Bureau of Motor Vehicle.
Okay. Well, I guess I wanted to start by asking you some of the questions that I was asking your supervisor, just so I can get an understanding, because I understood what she was saying about registering my vehicle, but I have read some case law, and in this case law that I read, it stated that no one shall be able to no state shall attach a fee, shall convert a liberty into a privilege, attach a fee to it, and try to make people pay. It said this on the Supreme Court case, that no country or no state shall be able to convert a liberty into a privilege. And what your supervisor was telling me is that the state of Ohio and these other states have converted liberties into privileges. And what I'm trying to figure out is, if I'm going to be a part of these privileges, if I'm going to register my car that I pay for, if I'm going to register that, then I want to say what I want to be, what code I want to follow. And if I injure a person, that's when I want to go to court. But if I don't injure a person or a party, then I don't want to be subject to these other fees, because I'm not a part of anything other than the good of mankind. I don't want to be charged for a red light being ran if there is no injured party, because there's nobody to complain against me besides these officers. But the officers, they're stating that they don't even know the rules, the full rules and regulations. So they're just trying to get me to come to court and pay some money and demand money from me. And I don't even have any money. So I'm trying to figure out who can help me as to when we make this contractual agreement, which is registering my vehicle. Like, what is the privileges of me registering my vehicle? Like, what do I get out of it? Because I'm saying you're getting paid for something that you really shouldn't even be getting paid for, because it's the right to travel. But I understand that you are holding a record of me having this car, and of everyone else having the car. That you're just the record holders. But if I don't choose for you to hold the record of me having my car, then why do I have to register my car? Because it clearly states in the Supreme Court, not one of these courts around my house, the Supreme Court of the land, or the Supreme Court states that they ruled in favor of traveling in a vehicle is a mere right, not a privilege.
And are you going to now present your case before the Supreme Court?
No, I'm not trying to present any case, but the case has already been presented. The case has already been passed. The case has already been closed, because the Supreme Court, they are even in agreement to what I'm saying, but I'm trying to figure out, why are people still registering their car? So if I am going to register my car, is it a way that I can write in contract with you all what rules and how I would, because it's just draining my energy when a police officer pulls me over because I've ran the red light, but there's no injured party. Like, I stop at the red light, I look left, look right, look left, look right again. There's no cars coming from any direction, and I just go through the light, and they pull me over. They say that I ran the light. I said, so? Is there any injured party? Because that's the only thing and only way that I come to court, is if there's an injured party, man. But I'm trying to figure out, how can I get some specialized plates to say, don't fuck with me, because I'm just traveling.
Well, Currently in Ohio, I don't know of a way where you would be able to obtain those specialized plates. Not in the manner in which you choose to obtain them.
Okay, but do you know of this Supreme Court that I'm speaking of that states this exact thing that I'm telling you about attaching a fee to a right?
No, sir.
You never heard of this?
No, sir.
Hmm. Well, is there any possible way that I don't have? Why? Well, what I was asking your supervisor was, why do I have to register the car?
And I believe it was explained that the information or the code that we follow is the Ohio Revised Code to register the vehicle in Ohio. That's with our agency under judicial law that we follow.
So it's just rules that you all follow?
Sure. Just as the rule that you're reciting in regards to the Supreme case law, your understanding or interpretation of it is the same as which we follow under the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how is your company or agency, how are they going against the Supreme Court, but then people are going to court? How are you guys still revising these codes?
You're the legislator.
How is the legislator going over this? It just doesn't make sense to me, Mal.
I can understand it. It can be quite complicated, the whole.
Because the Supreme Court is stating that the Supreme Court is stating that traveling is a mere right, like from the time you're born, no matter how you travel.
Oh, sure. There are a lot of things stated in the Supreme Court that then, once broken down to the actual states or jurisdictions throughout the country, have a different meaning or application of that law.
Okay. That I get what you're saying, but it still makes no sense that if the judicial have agreed and all the people know that traveling is not a privilege, why do I have to contract and register with their company, with their agency?
Well, what you're saying is, why do you have to? It's a choice if you choose to operate legally in Ohio or not.
Okay, now.
And that's what we're saying in Ohio. If you choose to operate on our highways legally.
In Ohio or in the state of Ohio?
Well, I can only speak for the state of Ohio.
Okay.
If you choose to operate legally in Ohio based on the laws and rules that we follow, we require residents to register their vehicle. If you choose not to register your vehicle, sir, if you choose to continue by putting your own plate and addressing your concerns as they come up with law enforcement, that's totally up to you. But there is no contractual agreement that you would be able to obtain from the state of Ohio that would state anything different than what we follow based on the revised code.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask, legally, is it what's legal or what's lawful?
Well, it's a combination of both. Because the legal right of the individual, of what we follow in revised code, is stated specifically in the different ORCs and even expanding into the OAC, the Ohio Administrative Code. Lawful is that determination that the law enforcement officers are going to either direct or impugn on an individual based on an incident or action that's occurred. That's out of our purview.
Okay. Good.
Established based on what the code says. We inform law enforcement, here's the guidelines by which an individual should follow. Then law enforcement takes it from there, if it's lawful or not, if an individual is acting in a certain manner or not.
Okay. Because what I was looking at, for a contract to be a valid contract, it must be lawful. So I'm saying when I sign this contract with you, would I be committing fraud because it's stating that I do not have to pay you guys, but every month and every year I'm paying?
Well, I can only, again, in Ohio, in order
in
to
the state of Ohio or in Ohio?
In Ohio, once you register.
Is there a difference between the state of Ohio and you just calling it Ohio?
If you prefer I say the state of Ohio, I can change the verbiage. Does that make it clearer for you?
Yeah. Because it's a difference between the state of Ohio and just being in Ohio.
There is? What's the difference?
Well, the state of is the corporation. It's like a part of the agency. But
so you're saying the state of Ohio is a corporation, or are you referring to the actual agency that operates within the state of Ohio?
It's agencies that operate in the state. But in the state of, that's a corporation.
So which statement are you preferring to use so that we're both discussing the same thing?
I'm talking about, I would wish to not deal with the corporation part, but no one can help me on how not to deal with the corporation part, because the corporation has taken over our land. So now we have to ask permission to travel in our land, and they're attaching fees to us traveling in our land. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I not pay these fees for traveling in our land?
Well, I can't help you with that. I can tell you what the state of Ohio, as the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, the agency, is going to require based on Ohio law, that a registration is required. It needs to do annually or biannually or do a multi-year registration. However it's done for the individual.
Is it
or how the individual chooses to register the vehicle.
Is it possible?
You're trying to determine if there should be an agreement or a contract or what you should or shouldn't do, and that's not for us to dictate. We can tell you if you wish to operate lawfully in Ohio a vehicle, here's the requirement. If you choose, based on your own free will, and whatever your understanding or whatever your clarification is regarding the rules that you choose to follow, then that's on you as an individual. That's not on this agency.
Okay. Now, what my next question would be, no, I understood some. What my next question would be is there any way that your organization could understand the fact that if every year that if I don't have any money, any lawful money, if I don't have that, then how do I how can I register my vehicle and not pay these fees, because it goes against my like, if I literally started to talk to people and teach them that this really goes against what we are subject to, because no country or state can take a liberty and attach a fee to it. But now they are asking us to pay. Every year they ask us to pay and re-register something, and I'm like, well, how many times do you need to register it? How does it go out of order? Like, how does it stop? Like, why am I re-registering something? Because it's not theirs.
Okay, and if that's what you believe, then don't register.
But I'm trying to figure out, because you were saying someone's going to harass me because I don't have your plates on there.
No, but
and I'm trying to figure out, why is your company doing this to people?
Okay, well, the code, our guidelines, requirements are clear, and that's what we're here to do, to ensure that the requirements of the state are listed and explained to law enforcement, who in turn will administer any lawfulness or unlawfulness.
Okay. So is there any paperwork that I could fill out for your company or agency? Is there any possible paperwork that I could fill out as to where I can register my car, but I don't pay?
No, sir.
What?
But you already knew that answer.
No, I didn't. That's why I asked.
That's the point of calling, though, and trying to get a clarification if there's going to be in a contract or an agreement, is you already knew that answer.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that I gotta just find out if it's any type of way.
But you were unaware that there wasn't documentation?
No.
Not this time? I find that a little hard to believe.
No, I really was not aware that you had no documentation, because
Have
what
you
I'm saying.
lived in Ohio most of your life, may I ask?
Yeah.
Are you a resident, or do you consider yourself a resident of Ohio?
It's kind of hard, because after you start reading and studying, you'll notice that.
From Ohio originally?
Yeah, I'm from Ohio originally.
Born and raised?
Yeah, I was born and raised.
Okay. Attended school, obtained a driver's license, ID?
But none of this stuff that I'm talking to you about was even taught in school. They don't teach this stuff.
Oh, it wasn't taught, but it was probably a norm.
They try to make it a norm, so when people ask, when people, no, I didn't agree with it, because it wasn't. It's not right, man. They don't have it. They're charging people.
Doing it as something that you don't want to follow, or your understanding of how it's done.
No, once I understood, and then I overstood, I had an understanding of this situation that's at hand.
Okay.
That the roadways, like the land was stolen. Period. Even Thanksgiving, they tell you that. Even in Pocahontas, the Disney movie, they tell you this. That this land was stolen. And now they try to act as if they're helping us out, but they're only helping themselves out. And it's the law of the land. And my people, we are aware of this law of the land, but it's a lot of people that's not aware of this law of the land. So when I say that there's no money, people look at me funny. You can't charge in law. You can't pay a debt with a debt. But somehow now they're paying debt with debt.
Well, I think I have exhausted the explanation that I have for you regarding the registering in Ohio.
It's really not an explanation, ma'am. It's an excuse to get energy.
If you want to call it an excuse, whatever you choose to label it as, in order for vehicles to be registered in Ohio, there is a process that one must go through, and that includes paperwork, information.
So what does it mean to register then? What does it mean to register?
Identify that your vehicle has proper coverage, financial responsibilities, residential address or garage address where the vehicle will be housed.
Is that the legal definition of register?
That's what you call a layman's term.
Well, I can't deal with layman's terms, because that's what got me in the situations that I'm in.
At all? Because that's very plain.
Well, you said it covers me for financial. So if I register my car and if I get into an accident.
Court law, and then in the next one you want to question a layman's term.
No, I'm just asking, man. I'm literally just asking, because I want to make sure that I'm fully aware, because I was made aware of some of this stuff. Now I'm just asking the questions.
And who made you aware of that?
You say what?
Who made you aware?
Well, one of the Aboriginal people made me aware that we are Aboriginal, we are natural persons, we are flesh, blood, breathing human beings. But when my mother and your mother probably as well, and others' mothers, they made them a birth certificate, which made them a corporation. So it is an unlimited line of credit that's due to us because they stole all our natural resources, such as gold and silver, and now they try to distribute it to us as if it's theirs. But this is a resource that is for all human beings. And our people, they actually understood this. But this white man, he came and he took over the land, called us with like, and then they tried to give us this Bible and tried to teach us about God, but they just governor over us. So they're like the government ordinance department. And our people, they actually had things set up where you can get out of this type of stuff and having privately owned plates and things of that sort, but they don't want a lot of people to know. So you got to go through a lot of channels. But if the masses of people knew this,
if it's something you can do and not have to go through channels, why do you call us for permission?
I'm not calling you for any permission. I'm just trying to find out
if we can do a contract. That's where the initial conversation started.
Yeah, the contract is because you asked. Because when I asked,
what you stated you believe in that doesn't require any permission or contract. Why are you inquiring with us for just that?
No, I'm asking because I want to make sure that I'm aware of what register means. Because I'm only a student of the information, ma'am. So I want to make sure that this information is correct.
But it's contradicting.
It's not contradicting, ma'am. What's contradicting is that even you admitted on this phone that even the Supreme Court stated that no country or state can attach a fee to can convert. Convert means to change.
That's what you stated. And you asked, was I familiar? And my response
and your response was no. But at the end of the day, I asked a question and you was like, yeah, it is it's contradicting that the state can attach a fee to a privilege. I mean, can turn a liberty, which is a free right, man. Free.
If it's a free right, then there's no reason for you to inquire about a permission, a contract, what to do, what not to do.
I'm just trying to figure out what I really was calling for was to figure out how does your company or agency keep doing it? How do you guys keep doing it?
According to you, the Supreme Court law states what you feel as though is clear. And I've explained to you what our guidelines are, what we operate under.
Okay.
As strong felt as you are about your Supreme Court law, that's as strong felt as I am about the revised code in the OAC.
Okay. So you're just saying you're just the employee, huh?
I have to be able to relay information to the public in regards to our guidelines and requirements.
You're not saying that I am wrong. You're just saying that you're
of your belief in regards to
not belief. This is actually well known. Is yours when you recite the codes to me, or when you keep telling me about the revised code, is that a belief or is that what you know?
That's the code. That's what I know.
That's what you know. Now, what I'm saying is that what I know, not a belief, what I know is that we all came here with the right to travel. Correct,
okay.
ma'am?
Then I'm going to wish you the very best in your right to travel. And hopefully, if you have any additional questions regarding registering a vehicle in Ohio, with Ohio plates and Ohio requirements, that you please feel free to give us a call. Okay? And you have a great day.
All right, you as well.